Are you wanting to hire an assistant to help you in your real estate business, but you don't know where to begin? You don't know what tasks to have them do? Hello, I'm Kevin Howard. In this video, we're going to talk about some different tasks that you could assign to a virtual assistant. It's not by no means going to be an absolute list, but it's just kind of get your brain working and come up with some of the tasks that are applicable in your business. And we're also going to talk about something that you must do before you even begin. So let's dive right in. When you have an assistant, of course, the first thing we need to establish is, do we even need an assistant? And what kind of metrics do we go by? And then what type of an assistant do we need, right? So first thing I like to tell people is, if you find yourself doing clerical work, essentially, if you find yourself doing, $10 an hour task, $15, $20 an hour task consistently, you need to have an assistant, right? Because that's going to cost you to hire an assistant in-house. That way you can free your time up so you can spend your time doing revenue generating activities. The more revenue generating activities you can do, the more homes you're going to sell, the more business you're going to do. So that's the first thing. So again, step one, am I spending too much time on non-revenue generating tasks? Too much time on $15 or $20 an hour tasks? The answer is yes. We need to hire an assistant to do those tasks for us so that I can spend my time doing revenue generating activities. Question two, what do I need to do when I go to hire an assistant, and what type of assistant? Well, there's a lot of people out there that have assistants and their models work good for some people it doesn't work so good. I personally am not a fan of hiring an assistant that is a jack of all trades. And I know starting out when you're getting your first assistant, that's kind of what you need. So having some different skill sets is kind of important, but try not to fall into the trap of, oh, this assistant is perfect. They've got experience in being an executive admin. They've got experience in transaction coordinating. They've got experience in video editing. Oh, and they're even a graphic designer. They can handle my social media. Look at this. Found a unicorn, right? Well, you can be good at a lot of things, but you're never going to be great at one thing if that is your avatar. So I like finding an admin that is good with admin duties, right? And what are we looking at there? We want organizational skills is important, right? That's one of the main traits, right? You always want somebody that's coachable in any role. The next role is like, do I need a transaction coordinator? Okay, that's somebody that can save a lot of time for you as well, handling all the paperwork, keeping the files on track, making the schedules there. But we got to have systems in place before we even hire a transaction coordinator, if that's going to be our first hire. In fact, I always recommend that our first hire should always be an admin. And the main reason for that is the admin is going to help you build the systems you need for future hires. So for example, if I want to go out and hire a transaction coordinator and I have not already created or documented my systems and how I do business, if I've not already created a checklist for that transaction coordinator to follow, what good is it for me to hire a transaction coordinator? I don't have the tools for that person to do their job. So the admin can help me create that kind of stuff. So there's our first task for our admin, right? Talking about, what do I have an admin do? The admin can help you create your systems. They can help you document how your business operates. So we want things broken down very simply. Okay, step by step on how we perform different tasks. Admins can also schedule your showings for you. They can route, right, when they're doing the scheduling of their showings. Okay, which house are we going to first? Then get on Google Maps, just like I do, set the route, then set up the showings, right? You find yourself getting ahead of schedule or running late, you call your admin. They call the listing agent for you. They recalibrate your schedule. Your next 4 showings that you're going to be late now because you were late to the second one, they can kind of make those adjustments for you while you're still out in the field, working with your client. Those are just a couple examples, okay? So the biggest thing is hire an admin first, get the admin to help you create your systems, and then from there you can start filling the other roles as needed. Whether it's a video editor, whether it's a graphic designer, a transaction coordinator, which is probably going to be your second hire, I would imagine, as a transaction coordinator. But yeah, all depends on your business, what your workload looks like, how many deals per year you're doing, etc. Now, the other thing that you want to consider, even before hiring an admin, because an admin, depending on your state, can potentially help you draft your contracts, right? So they can draft them, you can review them before they go out. They're doing clerical type activities. That might be one example that you may be able to do. Again, always check your state guidelines on this kind of stuff, but they can draft, other things for you, whatever that may be. Now, one thing that I did prior to ever hiring my first assistant, and it has paid off in spades, is I started documenting my day. I started documenting everything I did. Now, what do I mean by that? For example, writing a contract. Whenever I would write a contract, I would record my screen. And as I'm filling out the contract, I'm talking about the different sections and why we put this here and why we put that there and what some variations may look like, things of that nature. If I'm setting up a file in Dropbox, which is what we use, so that's where we keep all of our deals, kind of a template, if you will, how I want the file set up. Just basically record anything you did. If you envision the assistant helping you set up property searches, video, screen record, how you set up a property search. So they have a full library. By the time you're done, you've got a full training library, so that even in the future, with future hires, now you don't have to spend all that time training that employee. You direct them to the training library, you tell them which videos you want to watch, and you can even organize this further. Like I've done it with Trello. I've created a whole training outline, if you will, in Trello. So I give them step one, it's got a list of cards. They go through those and they watch the different training videos, they take quizzes, and then when they're done, they report back to me. And at that point, we go over what they learned, make sure they understand it all. Then I give them step two, another list of cards with more topics, more training videos, more exercises, another quiz, and then they report back to me. So they pretty much onboard themselves. Okay, so that's another thing you may want to consider, because you're going to spend a ton of time. You hire a new assistant, you're going to spend at least a week training them, most likely at least 2 weeks training them. Meanwhile, you haven't been able to do any business because this was your full-time job. So you need to figure out a way how you can continue to do business while training them at the same time. And creating this video library, that's proven to be golden in my case. So I highly recommend that. So some other tasks that you can have an admin do for you. They can help with your lead generation. They can help with acting in the form of a lead manager, if you will, as far as lead distribution, if you have a team, for example. They can help manage your database, make sure clients are in the correct pipeline, make sure the correct drip plans are assigned to those clients, make sure everybody's got a property search set up for them if you're dealing with buyers, things of that nature. Some of the other clerical things that you might have them draft would be maybe referral forms. If you send out, especially send out a lot of referrals, that's simply something an admin can do, is they can even locate the referral agent for you. Whatever platform you decide that you want to locate those referral forms from, whether your brokerage has their own thing. I know here at EXP, we've got something called Workplace, where we've got referral groups. We can go in there and find a referral agent there. That's something that an admin can do for you as well. If you're hosting a client event, perfect for an admin to help you organize that client event, right? Locate and schedule vendors that you may want to have at the event, arranging the invitations, making sure they all get sent out, checking in the RSVPs, getting your final head count, managing your calendar, managing your inbox. We spend a lot of time on emails as agents. We get a lot of junk emails. So having an admin manage your inbox for you so that you're only seeing relevant emails, that's a huge time saver. You can even have them respond for your text messages if you choose to. Having an admin input your listings into the MLS, changing the status of your listings in the MLS when they go pending and when they sell. Other clerical tasks such as creating a CSV file if you need a new list, or you need a list scrubbed or reformatted or something, they're perfect for that. I mentioned before creating checklists. They can create the template for those checklists. Have them create 2 or 3 versions so that you can then report back to you and you choose the one that you like, or choose the one that's most like what you like, have them do a few edits, and then boom, you've got your template. Then use that same template for creating all of your training materials for the onboarding. Along with templates, they can create email templates. This gets into creating systems for your business, so that whenever there's an offer accepted on one of your listings, you've got an email template that has certain information in there that gets sent out to your buyers or gets sent out to the other agent. Some information that you might put in there, especially for a buyer, is important dates. The date of acceptance, when the inspection period is up, when their earnest money is due, when the closing schedule, when their financing period is up, any relevant dates. Along with that, for our buyers, we like to include some verbiage that talks about do's and don'ts. So we don't want our buyers going out and buying a car while they're trying to get loan approval, as one example. We don't want them quitting their jobs, things of that nature. So you have to spell that out for buyers and the do's and don'ts. So pretty much anytime you find yourself sending a similar email, whenever something happens in your business, whether it's a new contract, a new listing, a new sale, whatever the case may be, if there is a consistent email that goes out, create a template for it, start using it. That'll save you a ton of time. So anyway, there's some different ideas for you to kind of get your gears turning, figure out what task you can use an assistant for. And I promise you this, once you hire an assistant, once you get that first admin, you might only have 3 or 4 things for them to do. But I promise you, within a week or two, you'll start seeing where, oh my gosh, I could have my admin do this. I could have my admin do that. And before you know it, you'll have a long list yourself. Hope you found all this helpful. If you haven't already, hop over onto Facebook and join our Facebook group, Agent Growth Collective, for more valuable tips and tricks, and get in there and let us know, how can we help you sell more real estate? Have a great day.